My name is Bjoern Landwer. I'm not quite sure did we start yet. But anyway, hello everybody. My name is Bjoern Landwer, and this is Bev Live. Off to a little bit of a false start here. Started a bit too early. Anyway, it is Friday evening, Friday before Easter, and most of you are already off work, enjoying the long weekend, and it's almost Easter. 2 more days till Easter, so very, very exciting. And today we're going to continue our show series in regards to talking about different questions that people have. So one of the questions that I hear a lot is, I read this wine review and it talked about grapefruit or red fruit and raspberries and strawberries. And do they add like kind of juice, like strawberry juice in it, or maybe some grapefruit juice? And I think it's a very fair question, especially for those who don't drink wine all the time, or who are that much into wine, or have been that much into wine, and are trying to become more wine savvy. Anyway, they read these reviews and have really no idea what they mean. So what it means basically is, no, they do not add anything. The winemakers don't add anything, but it's the reviewer's way of trying to describe to you how these wines taste. And some have, let's say, taste like strawberry, or some have like, especially like New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. We're looking at a lot of like grapefruit characteristics. So it's just the reviewer's way, or the winer's way, or the winemaker's way of trying to describe a wine, and that's basically it. There's nothing. I promise you. Oh no, we got some light. Nothing blended into it. So next question is, how do you drink wine? For this approach, I brought a glass and kind of shown you how to do it. But it's basically, there's the 5 S: see, swirl, sniff, sip, and savor. So see, basically, you just look at the wine, and you can tell a lot by just looking at the wine. Like, especially like with a red wine, if it seems a little more translucent or to look through, you probably don't get like a huge big Cabernet Sauvignon. It may be more like a Pinot Noir. So you can actually tell a lot, even if you don't know anything about a wine. Tell from the way it looks, from the colors. Then you swirl, and you see like people like this all the time, and think like, why are they doing that? Well, it's to get, and I think I mentioned this on another episode, it's to get oxygen into the wine, so that the wine kind of like opens up, that the tannins open up. And it's basically the same thing as putting wine into a decanter. When you pour wine into a decanter, lots of oxygen gets into the wine and opens up the wine. It's the same thing when you swirl a wine glass. In the sniff, you smell the wine, and smelling is a huge part of enjoying food and wine. So that's a very important part. And then you sip and you savor, and then you just enjoy. And that's pretty much how you enjoy a glass of wine. One of the questions I get too sometimes is, this wine is sweeter than the others. Do they add sugar to make that wine? Well, it depends. Yes and no. In some areas of the world, it is legal to put actual sugar into the wine to make it sweeter. It's called chaptalization. And in other areas of the world, it is not legal. So it really depends. Often you could have wines that are sweeter. If they don't have added sugar, they may just pick the grapes later. And it's the same with any other fruit. The later you pick a fruit, the more sugar develops within the fruit. So you're going to have more sugar in the grape, which then translates into having more sugar in the wine itself. And but sometimes you can also sometimes people also mix very sweet wine that they have in tank with another wine, and they can kind of like play with the sugar levels that way. So it really depends in which area of the world you live, if you can add sugar or not. But then even if you cannot add sugar, there are other ways, like I just described, to kind of impact the sweetness of the wines. That's when you look at like especially like wines that don't really change all that much, like from year to year to year, that you notice like this one always tastes the same. It always seems to have the same sugar levels. There's a lot of work being done in the winery to keep it that way. There's a lot of ways to do that. That's where the winemakers get involved. Another question that we get to is fermentation. How is alcohol made, basically, when it comes to wines? The answer is fairly simple. We come back to the sugars, actually. And this is the same thing that you would have, let's say, for example, in beer. It's yeast and sugar. The yeast basically eats the sugar, and the process, alcohol is made. As simple as that. So that concludes our question and answer segment of the day. I completely forgot to tell everybody. I mean, are you seeing the amazing frame that I'm in? Brand new, just developed. As you can see, this is the first time we're using it. Absolutely amazing, in my opinion. Looks brilliant. I'm super excited about it. There's all kinds of stuff, like I mentioned previously in previous episodes, that we are currently changing at Bev Life, and it's getting better and better and better and more exciting and more exciting. So absolutely love the frame here. Great job on that frame. Shout out to Brett. And so I wish everybody a fantastic weekend, fantastic Easter weekend. And I will see you next week. Bye.